Welcome back to the Your Financial EKG YouTube page. My name is Drew Blackston, and we are going to talk about a retirement withdrawal strategy for a 60-year-old with $600,000. And I want to go through two distinct strategies. I want to look at taking Social Security at 62, and I want to look at taking Social Security at 67. So we have a 60-year-old retiree. Should we take Social Security at 62? Should we take Social Security at 67? Or should we keep working? Because we're going to assume this individual has retired at 60. But hey, I want to welcome you back to the Your Financial EKG channel. If you have not subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit the button below to subscribe. Smash the like button if you enjoy this content, and please leave your questions and comments below. I do read and respond to everyone accordingly. Okay, so let's look at a 60-year-old individual. They have $600,000 saved in retirement savings. Their main concerns are inflation and taxes. And here's where our Social Security comes in. We have Social Security at 62 of $1,750, or we have Social Security at 67 at $2,500. So the question becomes, if we retire at 60, do we take Social Security at 62 or do we take Social Security at 67? Our annualized expenses are $50,000 a year. We're going to give that an inflation rate of 3% because one of the concerns is inflation. And Social Security does get a COLA increase of 3.25%. That's been the average COLA ever since they started keeping it about 47 years ago. Inflation's been running at 3.29% over the last 107 years. So COLA and inflation have really kind of kept up with each other over the last, let's say, 50 years. So let's look at this, a retirement withdrawal strategy for a 60-year-old with $600,000. Hang on. All right, let's look at our 60-year-old individual and ask the question, can I retire, and what's the best retirement withdrawal strategy? Now remember, we've got $600,000 in retirement investments and we have $50,000 in expenses on a yearly basis. We're going to give those expenses a 3% inflation rate because that's what the 107-year average has been, 3% with inflation. And we're going to look at two strategies. Should we take Social Security at 62? Or should we take Social Security at 67? There's no pensions. There's no other retirement investments. We're trying to see how long this retirement income is going to last. And listen, if you want a good booklet on retirement income, in the comment section, I put a link to the Roadmap to Retirement. It's a free retirement booklet that I give away on my website, yourfinancialekg.com. Click the link, fill out the button, or fill out the information, and you can have that booklet free to you. All right? So let's look at the first strategy, retiring at 60 and taking Social Security at 62. So we've got $600,000. We're 60 years old. We need $50,000 a year in income because that's our expenses. We're going to give the money that's in the market a 6% rate of return. So this is not a 6% withdrawal rate. It's a 6% rate of return on the money that's in the market. Okay? Now keep in mind the S&P 500 has averaged 10% over its lifetime without inflation. If you add inflation in there, it's averaged 8%. So we're going 2 percentage points behind it and going to 6%. We're going to do this for 2 years. So at the end of 2 years, he'll have $570,300. Okay, so $570,300 at 62. And at that point, he's going to kick on Social Security. So his investment or his expenses have inflated from $50,000 to $58,356. Remember, there's inflation on this. His Social Security is $21,000 a year. So that means we need $37,356 annually from our investments. Again, 6% rate of return, do it for 10 years. After 10 years, his investments at 72 are worth $527,499. So he has about $520,000 left in retirement investments at 72. So let's stop right there and let's go to Social Security at 67 because I want to talk about both these strategies. So 60 years old, we're going to take Social Security at 67. So now instead of waiting 2 years to take Social Security, we're going to wait 7 years. So same scenario, $50,000 in expenses, 6% rate of return on the money in the market, 7 years. So if he takes out $50,000 a year for 7 years, obviously inflated, at the end of the 7 years, he'll have $478,589 in retirement savings, okay? So remember, when he kicked on Social Security over here, we had $570,000. We're about $100,000 less, waiting an extra 5 years. Now, our expenses at 67 have inflated from $50,000 a year to $61,000 a year. His Social Security now is $30,000 a year, which means we have to take out $31,400 from our investments. Now remember, when he took Social Security earlier, he actually had to take out $6,000 more than he is now. Same rates of return, I actually didn't write those up there, 6%. Let's go 10 years. And at the end of 10 years, when he's 77, he'll have $441,925 left in his retirement savings, okay? Now, here's what concerns me. This here and this here might seem like a lot, but when I went to the next step and I inflated the expenses again at 3%, and I gave the COLA increase to Social Security, this gentleman taking Social Security at 62 was running out of money in his early 90s. Taking Social Security at 67 was running out of money in his late 80s. So when we had a conversation, I said, listen, I don't feel comfortable with you running out of money in your late 80s, early 90s. And his response back to me was what a lot of people say, I don't think I'm going to make it that long. And I said, I know you don't think you are, but with medical advances and just the way the world is, you're probably going to make it into your 80s, barring something tragic. And so my recommendation to a 60-year-old with $600,000 wanting to retire at 60 was to not retire, to keep working, to keep adding money to his retirement investments. Now, this gentleman had no debt, so there were no other outstanding expenses, so he did have a home that he could sell if he wanted to. It was not a home that he wanted to sell because he was already single, living in a smaller home. But he did have that equity if he wanted it. But in this scenario, it made more sense for him to keep working at his current position or to take a part-time job just so that he can make up some of the expenses that he needs, okay? So not everybody's scenario is perfect. Not everybody's scenario we can take pixie dust and sprinkle on it and hope they can retire. And listen, I want you to have a full retirement plan. If you want me to put together an income strategy like we did here to give you the honest truth, yes, you can retire, no, you can't, go to my website, Your Financial EKG. The easiest way, click the link in the comment section below, fill out your information, select the box, yes, I want to meet with you, and I will call you and we'll go through a 15-minute phone call, get some information, and then we can do your retirement income strategy to make sure that you can get to retirement, through retirement, and protect your ability to stay in retirement. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. God bless. Bye-bye.